Thank you. My name is Sophia. I'm from Oxfam, America, and I manage a rural resilience program called IFPRI. One of its components is weather index insurance, and the other three components are saving, credit, and risk reduction. And we reach about 20,000 farmers now in Ethiopia. My first question goes to Ruth on the gap insurance. Was there an event where actually 50 farmers signed petition and you had to do a crop cut and decide whether there was a payout or not? And what was the trigger in that case? Did you have a trigger based on yield? And if so, how did you manage to design the policy? Was it easy to find historical data for village level yields that dates a number of years back? And then from the discussion, what came out very clearly is all of us who are working on index insurance need to talk to each other, because I see a number of faces which are familiar to me. We all have different experience, but I imagine similar lessons, and it would be good to convene periodically and share lessons. I also have one question to Teshome. As a microfinance institution, I believe that one of the reasons that farmers might default would be related to drought. So if farmers are insured and if those insurance companies cover those loans when there is a drought, do you think that might eventually lead to you reducing the interest rates for your loans eventually?
Thank you very much. Let's give the panelists to respond to some of these questions, and depending on time, we'll give opportunities. Who would like to go first? Tashoma this time? Who would like to go first?
Or I don't know, probably Ruth first. Okay, now, okay. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think probably first I'll focus on the specific questions directed to me, and then also reflect on the issue of gap insurance. The customers are decreasing. Yeah, I think it's just last evening that I have to include that data. I never even thought it was relevant, but I remember some years ago when Niala was experimenting in Ashosa, I myself asked exactly the same question. I remember. The data of Niala insurance was also either it was almost stagnant or not as decreasing as my data, I remember. So I think this is really one of the big questions that Gush has also raised, and I wanted to provoke also. So much test, no scale up. What's happening? In our case, the number is decreasing. It doesn't worry me. One, because of the design itself, during the initial 2 years, we used, to experiment also the behavior of, what role can others, for example, play in managing some of these risks. There were some design elements that we included, and the premium was, for one policy, was about 50 birr. Sometimes, we gave 50% or something as a grant or as a discount. For others, we even gave a lottery, and etc. So what I'm saying is it is decreasing now because that aspect has been withdrawn, and it's 100% purely sales for cash only. So even at the initial years, was people trying to come in because of the game, or is it because of the price? In effect, in a form of subsidy. For me, still, I don't think they were coming because it is cheap, or now because it is more expensive. I doubt. My personal impression is people just simply try to test something first, whether it works or not, and then abandon it. So that's really my question. But even with this, is this product affordable? As I said, I'm lending 1,000 birr. This product is extremely affordable. That I'm absolutely sure. The point is, can you sell it? I'm not able to sell. I don't know how I'm going to sell. Not because of credit need, not because of inaffordability, but I think that's really one question that we have to really investigate. Why is it then isn't going to be really scalable if it's affordable? On drop pouch, I think definitely one of probably my no, because
the questions were difficult, so maybe we can just stop.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Would you like to?
No, really, really quickly. I think price is a big reason why demand dropped off. I think price, and I also think that marketing started too late. I don't know about this year, but I know last year. So I think those would be two big reasons. And subsidies are important. I think that was coming across from all of our studies. I think that quickly on the gap insurance, at the moment, it's been the first year was IFPRI and BUSA that did the crop cut. Ideally, you want a third party to do it. I think at the moment it's okay BUSA doing it. There's a lot of trust with BUSA and the local community, but ideally I think it would be a third party. We used the CSA data on yields in order to develop the historic trigger, and there was enough data actually, and the data is good enough quality that the reinsurers are willing to reinsure the product. In terms of, and we have had a situation where there's been a request for a crop cut. It's been done, and actually it didn't pay out, but farmers were very satisfied with the process. It's expensive when markets start. So in India, for example, the loading factor has been about 3 to 4. In developed markets, it goes down to about 1.11. The current contract is priced at about, when we were heavily involved in helping to subsidize some of the cost, it was subsidized at 1. So the loading factor, so it was the amount farmers received on average was the same as they put into it. But in a developed market, you should expect that at the lowest could get to is 1.11. But in reality, when markets are starting, it's about 3 to 4. I should probably stop there. Yeah. There's other happy to talk.
Burhan, very quick.
Okay. On the question of information asymmetry, basically when we talk of index insurance, we need 3 parties. One, who monitors the index, the insurance company, and the purchasers to prevent the conflict of interest. So currently, for instance, for it is IRLI who have designed and is currently monitoring the index. Gradually, there is an intention to transfer the monitoring part to a public institution like Ethiopia Mapping Authority, Weather Agency, but it requires capacity building. Quickly on the question of what are the other factors which drive insurance demand other than price, and the other question of which group are more interested, we can't answer at this time, but luckily we have a research design where we can find out in the future, because we have a panel of 500 households for which we have collected over 500 for which we have collected 3 years of data, and we will continue for 2 more years. Thank you.
Thank you very much, all presenters. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much for your patience.